Are you scared?
Oh, it depends on what.
I know people are scared.
Well,
People are scared of realtors.
yes. People are scared of lenders, too.
Yes. Yes, we're scary.
I think they're like way more afraid of lenders than the realtors.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I mean, they trying to buy a home, and the last thing they want to know is if they qualify.
Right. It's shopping's fun, paying the bill isn't.
Yes,
Fun,
always.
responsibility. Fun,
Yes.
responsibility.
Yes, definitely.
So, like, what are the main 3 things, would you say?
I think the first one is just knowing that they have to pay somebody else money for their money. So, like, acquiring debt, that's one of the biggest struggle that I'm seeing that people have.
And that's not a bad fear to have. Like, you want to make sure you're liquid. You want to make sure you can afford it, right?
Yeah.
So getting an idea of what your payments will be is a really good thing, like, before you start looking. It's one of my favorite things is when people are like, this is about how much I can afford monthly. How much house can I buy?
Well, and there is such a difficulty on getting all the money together that I think that's why it comes this fear. Like, you are saving for your down payment, you're saving for things that you want, and then you're giving it away, and you don't really appreciate what you're getting back. Because now that you gave that down payment away, and now you're paying an interest rate on whatever mortgage you have or whatever, you're thinking, I don't know, is this house worth it or not?
That's actually a really good point because, like, I'm a huge proponent for investing in real estate. I've made the most money in any of my investments investing in real estate. But the thing that a lot of people don't understand is when you buy a house, you own a house. And then a lot of people, like, so when the market took off in 21, a lot of people were like, oh, I have so much more money. And I was like, no, you don't. You have a house. And like, well, it's worth more. But it's like, the problem is, unless you decide you don't want a house, all you have is a house. So there is legitimate fear because the money you put down on most home loans just disappears into the value of the home. Yeah. So home equity, you can pull it out, but fixed rate mortgage, you put money down and it's there. It's tied up.
It's there. It's tied up. It's not a easy way to get it back fast. It's more of a process that we've talked on different videos about it. But I think that's one of the fears. I think another fear is precisely that trying to get a down payment.
Oh yeah, that's a big struggle for people.
Yeah.
And like rightly so. So 5%, 3.5, 10, 20. A lot of people. I went to lunch with one of my buddies just earlier this week, and his first home, he made sure he put 20% down. And to do that, he took a hardship from his retirement. So he was really proud that he didn't have to waste the money on mortgage insurance. But what he didn't realize is he paid about $15,000 in penalty and taxes on the money he took out of his 401k just to not pay mortgage insurance. And so it's interesting because a lot of people are like, I want to save up for more down payment, or I need to make my payments smaller. But with current appreciation, it's almost always better to buy a home sooner, even if you end up paying a little bit more for that home, because it will appreciate faster than debt will accumulate.
Yeah, and like that's one of the things that I like about Utah, and I see it all the time. Utah appreciation is always there, always there. There's always an appreciation. There's been a lot of things saying, oh no, the home prices are going down. Not here. And that would be an incentive to you to know that even though you've saved some money, it's hard to save that money, and then you're putting it in a house, you are going to get that return. I mean, it is tied to the house, definitely, but in the long term, you will have that money back and more versus other places where, you know, it might be a good idea to rent maybe and get some cash flow out of those properties, but they don't have the appreciation like we have here. And not everybody wants to go and move to those other places. That's probably why the houses are so
like
cheap
the Midwest.
Yes.
You can buy a house, you can cash flow right off the get-go on investment properties, but appreciation's slow.
Yeah, it's slow. It's really slow. And it depends what game are you playing, what are you looking for. But having that down payment taken out of you, like getting that money out of your pocket or, you know, your account, that is also another stressor. Some people don't like that. they feel like they're losing control. But I think that if you have something like that going on, then you need to talk to a lender so he can let you know exactly where the money's going, how you're recuperating that money. Talk to your wealth advisor as well so they can tell you how much more money you will have if you let go of that money.
Yeah.
That's important too. What other fears are that you've seen?
Just the expenses of having a house. Like,
Yeah.
and these are real fears. I'm not saying, like, these are things you should analyze. I still believe investing in real estate's a great thing, but it's funny. So I love my brothers. They're amazing, right? And I got three. I've got one who was a CPA, and now he's like a big time dude at a major corporation. Smart. I would say he's smarter than me. And then I've got another one who's a civil engineer. And he's some type of engineer, and he's like, there's a big mining company in Utah, and he's like, he traveled the world telling people how to run mines. Like, he's really smart. And then I've got a landscape architect brother, right? And my first two brothers, they're good with numbers. And when they bought a house, I said, you need to make sure you keep $2,000 out liquid. You're going to need it. And both of those brothers said, no, we've gone over our numbers. And it's like, if you've gone over your numbers, like, by all means, I trust you. And both of them, after they bought their house, are like, oh, we should have listened. And then my landscape architect brother, who's just like happy-go-lucky, he's hilarious. He's like, oh, yeah, totally did it. Oh, totally needed it. Anyway.
So it makes sense to have that extra money. But at the same time, if you're buying something smaller, there's programs that you can use to not have to put that much money. Obviously, you have to have money extra for the other things that is not your loan, that is not your earnest money, that is not, those little things. There's
Right.
always something that you need to cover. But there's always ways to just not have to pay that much for a down payment, not have to pay that much for a title company. There's ways to do.
Or if
stuff.
things go wrong in the house, like my general rule of thumb for the amount of reserves you should have on an investment property is you figure out how much the furnace costs to replace and how much the roof costs to replace, and one of those amounts. Because usually you won't lose a furnace and a roof in the same year, but like make sure you've got that there. So, but if you're buying a home, you can do a home warranty.
Yeah.
And so if you're worried about it, if you're like, crap, I don't have $15,000 that I can leave in an account, then okay, well, let's spend $700,
Yeah.
and that'll cover almost any of your problems for the first year. And then if you don't have money saved up, then you could do another $700 and keep going and going and going.
And if that is something that interested you, just let us know. We'll put a list on our website, Utah Home Journey, and you can check it out and grab from there. Yeah.
So you don't have to be scared.
Yeah, don't be scared.